Do you guys know the story of how Amazon came up with this, Amazon Web Services?
No.
So the whole story goes like they had Amazon.com, started, I think 95, 96, something like that, right? Yeah, they did just a 20-year thing just now. And they ran pretty much the world's most sophisticated e-commerce platform, right? No competition, right? I mean,
No, there's nobody close.
But when they started with books and CDs and stuff, right? And at that time, they were running this sophisticated e-commerce site, and so to run that as fast and as good they had a lot of infrastructure, right? They bought it and they scaled it. They split it all over the country, near to the customers and everything, and and they got very good at it, how to maintain this infrastructure. And so somebody had this bright idea that, hey, we always seem to have some excess capacity, storage or compute or whatever. Why don't we rent it out?
Mm-hmm.
This was 10 years ago. That simple idea. Today, $10 billion business, Amazon Web Services, and growing faster than any IT company.
Mm-hmm.
The simple idea that if you have excess capacity, just rent it out. Rent it out. I mean, renting is not easy. I mean, think about it. If you own a house and you're like, I'm not using the whole thing, I want to split it and rent it out half to some other customer. How? It's very difficult. The doors and security, you only have one kitchen, So they got very good at how to rent it in a sophisticated way. They started with storage. They had so much excess storage. They had the thing called S3, storage, and then compute and everything, and they started renting them out. And then they started with basic services, but then they built so many of them. They added databases. They made you establish your own kind of virtual network on it, and then even more higher level services like Lambda and Kinesis and big data. And so now it's a
Big game player.
it's a big player. And so how massive scale, global reach. You guys probably already know that. So some of the things concept wise is all these orange things you're seeing, right? That's in a geography, right? So this, we call it the Virginia. Each one is called in Amazon language called region, right? So it's a geographical area. And within the region, and these regions are, as you can tell, totally separate from each other, right? Although it seems, of course, you would imagine Amazon would have some, on the West Coast, they have 3 regions, California, Oregon. There are 2 in California, 1 in Oregon. Within that, the number you see inside the region is the data centers, so how many data centers they have in that region. And Amazon language for that is AZ, availability zones. You guys may have heard that. So a region is a geographical distinct area within which you have multiple AZs. Every region must at least have 2 availability zones. Like this picture is old. This India thing just came online a month ago, Mumbai region. Right, and now they have 2 AZs there. They have to have 2 AZs. Can you guess why?
Backup,
It's fell over. So that's every region. If you see, every region must at least have 2 data centers or AZs. And this Virginia one has 5. This was the earliest, I think. Those data centers also are in that area, but they're not like next to each other. I mean, they're in that general area. I don't think they publish it where it is. It may be roughly known where they are, but I don't think you can go Google Map and say, show me all the Amazon data centers there. You wouldn't see it. And there is a purpose why they did it that way.
I think it's area redundancy.
It is, right? So, and they can't have too close to each other for disaster recovery purposes.
I thought it was 1.5 kilometers or 1.5 miles at least it should be.
And I think at least, but I think these are even more scattered even further. But they all in that general Virginia area, so which is called. So it's important to know, and they ask you on the test region. So at this point, we have 12 regions. 1, 2, 3, 4. This Ohio one is coming soon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. India, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So there are 13, but there are really 12. One is called AWS Gov Cloud. There's one region they created just for government and government, U.S. government. They wanted everything totally separate with no shared. I mean, this is obviously a shared environment, right? You're running your stuff, and your competitor could be running maybe on the same virtual machine. Same.
You never know.
You'll never know,
You may
right?
find the
It's like,
bits and bytes, and if you can
yeah,
decrypt it.
yeah, you would never know. And so the guy, U.S. government, didn't want that, so they built a U.S. Gov Cloud. Gov Cloud is not accessible to public. That's why we say right now there are 12 regions, and this one is Ireland. No, or UK. There's one in UK coming soon, and one in Ohio. So 12 at this point, and plus AWS Gov Cloud. And Gov Cloud is Department of Defense, Department of Energy, all that stuff. And you have to have government credentials to go into that Gov Cloud. But you and I
what
would.
should, like, say for tests, if they ask like how many regions does Amazon have, what do we put in, 12?
12. You put say 12 certification. Yeah. So here's the list of certification attestation they have. FedRAMP is I don't know much about it, but it's a federal certification that any cloud provider must have, whatever the specifications are, right? Then these ISOs. HIPAA must be there somewhere.
Right.
You see HIPAA?
Yeah, right. Under the GLP.
Yeah, HIPAA, HIPAA, Privacy Act.
Right, HIPAA.
Yeah.
And so they have, and they're different countries. These are from Privacy Act, New Zealand, right, Australia, EU, and there's nice little actually slide somewhere which shows all the certifications they have gotten, because HIPAA is for healthcare, right, and it's a privacy law, so you cannot put healthcare data unless the infrastructure is HIPAA compliant, and so that's why, so so they are doing, so they are constantly getting those certifications and adding more to it, and so regions and availability zones. That's how they're structured. Now, there's another thing they have. It's called CloudFront CDN, Content Delivery Network. We will study a little later. That they have little data centers where the information is just cached. They're not
Physically there.
Yeah, I mean, they're not data centers. They're just like Africa. There are no data center regions, right? But they'll have some caching servers. They call them CloudFront. Using a CloudFront. Right? So it's caching, and so that people in Africa are trying to get to CNN or whatever, they don't have to come all the way to wherever CNN is hosted. I don't know if CNN is on Amazon, but the point being that they have it cached. There are some local servers here.
Is that is there something other word for that, entity something?
So the whole idea is, you may have heard of Akamai. Have you heard of
Yeah.
Akamai?
Network devices.
So it's just caching, right? Akamai devices all over the internet. It's just for caching.
So is that the same concept that the computer cache works on, that if I have searched something, it's cached, and if someone else search it, it will just deliver it?
It's exactly.
It won't go direct.
No, it won't go to the server.
All the way in.
Suppose AWS CloudFront. I'm looking for a map here. So what's Amazon? Is a global content delivery network, CDN service that accelerates delivery of your websites, APIs, video content, or other web assets. It integrates with other web services products to give developer and business an easy way to accelerate content to the end user with minimum usage content. I'll find that.
So is that like CloudFront is also another name for edge location?
It is, yeah.
That's what my question.
Oh,
is.
edge location. Yeah, they call them edge locations. So they are 53 or 54 edge locations or CloudFront locations scattered all over. There's one actually in New Delhi now, and it's just a cached, just like Akamai. just cached content. So if you don't have to go all the way to the wherever the main content is, it's just cached. And the cache also gets refreshed as new
The
content.
order goes out
Yeah,
and the new
yeah.
one goes
They
on.
do LRU, least recently used algorithm. So they'll destroy it, flush the cache out, and new stuff comes in. But it's nice because it reduces the latency, right? Depending on where you are, it gets you the closer to that. So when someone says, so how is Amazon structured? So there are 12 regions. Within that
Yeah,
availability, you have to count them all. I think there are 30 plus available. I don't have that number, but 53 to latest, and always changing, and always been added edge locations or CloudFront locations. So it's
And 53s were CloudFront, right?
CloudFront. Let me there be a little.
Yeah.
That's your Akamai type
I'm
things.
a bit question with this. So I've heard of like EMC squares, like they just have storage space and all that. So does this mean that Amazon may have rented their space over there, or they have their own data centers like?
Own data center. Own data center. Amazon's got
So
that.
they don't go outside like EMC square. Like.
Nope, nope, nope. Now there are some massive data centers operated by companies like Equinix, Equinix, and these are massive data centers. Some of the Amazon AZs are inside the Equinix locations.
I've heard like that. So some of the big companies like Facebook also have some space over there.
Oh, okay. So these are all Amazon owned and maintained, managed data center.
And so who is the bigger than Amazon, Azure or Amazon? I think Chris answered Amazon.
Amazon is by far the biggest. Azure is right behind it. Because Microsoft, they're not going to lose this battle easily, so they're going to keep up. But these guys have such a.
But these are two main players, right?
Yeah, Amazon and Azure. Google started it, but they're behind. The Google, what they call it, Google GPC, Google Cloud, Google Public Cloud, IBM. Those are all just not in the game. Gartner actually published just last week their latest cloud providers, and Amazon is just way above that, and right behind that is Microsoft. All right, so we got it. So regions have availability zones, and in addition to they are scattered. CloudFront location, also edge locations where static cache contents goes in there. That's okay. So what do we have in each of those regions, right? What is the minimum guarantee that all regions have? So you got availability. So this is let's just say that's your highest level picture. So AWS Global Infrastructure, regions, AZs, and from here on we'll just call them AZs, as locations. And on top of that, on every data center, you have these foundational services. And you guys probably can guess these. Compute, right? Storage, database, networking, some management tools, analytics, and all that. The main thing these guys did, and what is so amazing, is if you, like your laptop, it's all embedded, right? Your storage, CPU, and if I ask you, could you independently increase your CPU? It's kind of a random example. You can, right? You have to buy a different laptop or whatever, or just rip it out, put it a new one, whatever. If I say add a storage, well, storage you could create connect a USB drive, external drive, whatever. If I ask you to add RAM, it's very hard, right? It may not even have those slots. What do you call it? Can't even fit.
Not on the Amazon one,
right? And so what these guys did is like, and even traditional servers, where you buy it, it's all together, right? Those things. And what these guys did, just ripped everything out.
Okay.
Storage, they kind of virtualized every part of that server. So instead of it being CPUs and memory and disk and networking all together as a package, right? And depending on your need, sometimes you may need not that much CPU, you just may need more I/O, or you're processing, you're fine with disk, you may need more memory intensive, whatever you're doing. You're running some Hadoop jobs, Spark jobs, or you may just need more network. But to have it all packaged in a server as in a traditional thing would have always have meant that you will buy more than you need, right? But what they did, it's almost like you take the server and rip out the different components and make it available separately, independently.
So I'm not sure about it. It's the same concept. What is that? OpenStack concept?
It's exactly that. It is OpenStack concept, exactly. That these foundational services are available to you not just as one unit of, like a server like this, right? It's not embedded all that. They have virtualized all these. And of course, underneath that, there are actual physical servers, right? It's not magic. It's not magic. It's just, after all, it's still a virtual servers and running some hypervisor on the bare metal, and then everyone gets their slice, right? But even memory, storage, disk, it's independently you provision. That's just an amazing thing. And if you come from traditional IT background, like, wow.
So basically, when you're eating a dosa, if you need more chutney, that's what it is, right?
Good example, right? And it happens all the time because otherwise you don't even need that many dosa makers, but to have that much rasam, whatever, you have to have that. There's no other way. But now it's all, they have just, the best way I can describe it, split it out. They have opened up the server, yanked out all the different components, and virtualized every single one of them. And that, now you can mix and match, depending on what kind of workload. If you're running some graphic intensive,
With more memory.
but if you're running loading Hadoop clusters, that's more I/O. That's more I/O. You're hardly doing any competition. If you're doing video encoding, right? You upload some video, you're just churning it into different formats for iPads and iPhones and stuff. That's a different, that's compute. That's just
Need more power.
more CPU horsepower and not so much memory. So with this now, this kind of style, you'll see when you do a compute, like what kind of machine you want. There's so many different kinds of machine you can pick. Basically, it's a mix and match of everything, and that's just, which also means that that's on the customer to know that, right? So we are still not out of business. Someone's got to know. There are like 30 or 40 or 50 different kinds of machines you can rent, Linux machines you can rent. Who's got to know? We will know, right? We will solutions.
Yeah,
So, or else you pick one. No, but that's the idea. And when we go through that, it'd be impressive. Like, wow, this is how these guys do it. So these are the foundational services. In the course, we will. That's what I was telling you guys earlier. Ideally, we go through this, like just this order, compute order, the compute storage, database, networking. My hope is that in next 4 or 5 days, if I can get you guys comfortable with compute and storage, then all the other things we do, like I was showing you, let me show you one picture right here, and don't let that scare you. so, and these pictures are, see, it's already old. 11 regions, no, we have 12 regions. 28 availability zone, no, we have like 33. 53 might be the correct number. So they kind of I expanded that picture now, right? So let's go with compute. So now this compute, so each icon is a AWS service. And I'm not even going to count how many. Let's just say a lot, right? A lot of these services are. And so what we will learn under the compute service, well, EC2. EC2 is your virtual machine, is a virtualized server, right? And EC, have you guys heard of Docker containers? Okay, so don't worry about ECS yet, but EC2 is your server, virtual server, and we'll skip these. We'll talk about elastic load balancing and auto scaling, how all that works. So that's compute. Storage, storage was the main thing what Amazon was born to do, or AWS was. S3 is their heart and soul of Amazon is their massive storage array called Simple Storage Service. This thing is, when we go through that, amazing. Of course, that's object store. You also have block storage, elastic block storage, which you can attach to just like your external hard drive. So those are blocks. And then CloudFront, we talked about CloudFront. Those are caching things. And Glacier is also for archival storage. You just want to store something, but you don't care to have it active. And like for auditing purpose, you just want to put something out there. And Glacier provides cheap archival storage. Network is that now in Amazon, you can create virtual private cloud, meaning that you can draw your own virtual network boundary. You can say, this is my network, this is my 10 dot whatever network, and within that you can have subnets, just like you would do in your traditional shop, and you can have subnets and you can put different things. I can have a private subnet where I put my databases and everything. I can have a public subnet where I put my, like a DMZ, where I put my web servers. I can have different levels of security, access control. I mean, it's just like your own data center in the cloud, virtual private cloud. So we'll study that. Direct Connect is, as you can imagine, a direct connect from AWS to your own data center, because they want to suck all that stuff from you to AWS, right? Route 53 is the DNS server. Database, they got the relational database services, all your Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL, Postgres. Then Amazon's got their own NoSQL database called DynamoDB. This stuff is just amazing. Elastic Cache, and so we will, as you go higher up, these are kind of foundation. As you go higher up, those are more value-add services. So don't let this slide scare you. It's a lot of things, so this is their entire web service, and there's a management console, which I'll show you how we interact with that, and then you also have a command line interface.